Hi, and welcome to Ask Leah. Tonight's question comes from someone in the beauty industry who is keen for advice on how to get the best out of her therapist. She said she's got great staff, but they're not working at their full potential. They're not giving her clients the service that she knows they could be. And this person said to me, look, I feel like I'm a bit of a broken record. I've been banging on about this for ages and it just doesn't seem to be having an impact. So tonight I wanted to share with you a 5-step approach to addressing this that will hopefully have some more success. Number 1, ask, don't tell. What I recommend you doing is having a team meeting with your staff and posing the question, how do they choose service providers? What makes them go back to a restaurant perhaps, or any other service that they seek out? What makes that happen? What makes you really support and have loyalty to a business? And brainstorm, capture their ideas, because what will come out through this discussion is the importance of those interpersonal relationships. Yes, being a great therapist is important, but the connection and experience of working with a business or the people within it or going to a restaurant is just as important as the actual service that is delivered itself. Now that will come out much more strongly if you ask the question and have this as a discussion rather than just telling people what to do. Number 2, why should they care? Okay, so when you're having the conversation about the standard that you expect, why should your therapist care about this? Now, of course, you would hope that they would care because they want to be the best they are. But the reality is no one cares as much about your business as you do as the owner, okay? So even if you've got great staff, they're not as invested as you, and we can't expect them to be. It's a job for them. It might be their passion, but it is still their job. So why should they care though? And this can be a point where sometimes you do need to inject a bit of a dose of reality. Why should people support your business and not the other one just down the road that offers the same service? They've got good therapists too. You know, what sets them apart? It might be that you have a conversation about how fickle that industry is. And really right now, with the challenges we currently have in a COVID world, every little point of difference, positive point of difference helps. So, you know, the reason they need to care is because you need to keep having customers so that you have a successful business so that everyone can stay employed, and you're really determined to do that. It's not about scaring people or making threats that aren't there, but, you know, give that bit of dose of reality and why they should care. Number 3, speak to their drivers. Now, this can be different for everyone, and you know your staff better. So those first conversations are likely to be in a group environment. But if you get the chance to have conversations one-on-one with your staff, which hopefully you are doing, really speak to their drivers and motivations if you can. It might be one of your staff would love a promotion and there's one coming up, and you sharing these expectations and actually saying that this is what you're looking for in the person that takes that next step is the kicker that they need to really step up. Someone else, it might be a different driver entirely. For them, it may be keeping security of job at a time where things are really uncertain in the world. So speak to the drivers where you can. Number 4, you do need to make your expectations really clear. What does good performance look like? Not just in generic terms, telling people, you know, to deliver the best service and that you want people to lift their game. You actually need to get specific. And again, do this in a discussion if you can. What does great service look like? What are the expectations you all have from each other about the experience of coming into your business? Because it shouldn't matter which therapist someone gets. Of course, people will connect differently with different people, but they should have the same high quality service no matter who they get. So you need to make these expectations really, really clear because people need to know what it is specifically that you're asking them to do. That leads perfectly into point number 5, and that is to hold people accountable. So once you've set the expectations and you've had really clear discussions with your staff about what is and isn't okay and what you expect, you then need to hold people to account for that. And that's not running around with a big stick hitting people over the head. But it does mean that if someone is not meeting those expectations, that you have to address that. You have to address the elephant in the room. And when you do that, it's a one-on-one conversation with that person privately. It's not addressing the whole team and saying, come on, girls, we need to lift our game, and hoping that that vague roundabout communication gets through and encourages them to step up. No, you've actually got to address this. And as nerve-wracking as that might be, the damage that you will do if you avoid the conversation is so much more. So there you have it, 5 steps that will hopefully help you move forward and stop being a broken record, while also seeing some change in the performance of your staff. If you've got a communication or soft skill question you'd like answered, send it through and I'll do my best to answer it for you next week. Cheers, everyone.